Today we'll be making a Smash Ultimate tier list, but we'll be deleting the A button. And the C stick too. Running straight into F tier, the most miserable character to play without the A button is Fox. Fox's moves are Blaster, Fox Illusion, Firefox, and Reflector. Laser doesn't flinch, so enemies can just bulldoze right through you. Side B and up B are extremely punishable when blocked. Reflector can be used as a Shine Spike edgeguard, but you have no raw knockback power in either your specials or grabs. Pairing with his co-worker is Falco. With Blaster, Falco Phantasm, Firebird, and Reflector, they have extremely similar weaknesses when the A button is banned. At least with Falco, your laser does flinch so you could barely zone enemies, and you can spike people with side B, then footstool them after, which is cool. So if anything, Falco is just a tad better than Fox. Sheik has Needle Storm, Burst Grenade, Vanish, and Bouncing Fish. A lot of Sheik's strengths comes from her fantastic frame data, like Nair is -3 on shield and Fair is -2, and her extended combos. Without A, she has 2 mediocre projectiles and no consistent means to clean up stocks. You could do needles into Bouncing Fish, but setting that up without normals makes that confirm feel too rare. Pichu has Thunder Jolt, Skull Bash, Agility, and Thunder. And Pichu takes damage from all 4 moves. Hooray! And your highest damaging throw and best raw KO throw also has Recoil. You are actively hurting yourself for participating in Smash, and by the time you've done a little bit of percent to your opponent, you're already at 100%. Little Mac has Straight Lunge, Jolt Haymaker, Rising Uppercut, and Slip Counter. These are all actually pretty decent specials, but the loss of your tilts and smash attacks reduces him to using run up side B and up B, which can be easily punishable. It was also kinda difficult filling up the power meter via dealing damage, and even when you get KO Punch online, you don't have normals like down tilt to help combo into it. I mean, if your opponent is sleeping at the wheel, then you could get away with B only Mac, but it's 2025 and players just know how to abuse this guy too well. E tier characters mostly had 1 or 2 moves that felt decent to use, but still incredibly bad. Mario has Fireball, Cape, Super Jump Punch, and Flood. Mario can toss fireballs, go for a grab into up B, and that's really it. At high percents, none of these specials will KO on their own, but you do have back throw, which is at least something. The damage output is just so slow, so there's not a consistent way to build a lead besides winning neutral 10 separate times. Ganon has Warlock Punch, Flame Choke, Dark Dive, and Wizard's Foot. Very similar to Little Mac, where these normals aren't inherently bad, it just comes too stale when the A button is off limits. It's a combination of normals with these burst option specials that makes Ganon scary, yet taking away stuff like Nair, and it's pretty easy to overwhelm Ganon. Mewtwo has Shadow Ball, Confusion, Teleport, and Disable. I like Mewtwo a lot, but this kit without those tail swipes and Nair felt so sad to play. If you charge neutral B and they approach by jumping, you would easily anti-air with up airs, but now you can't do that. Side B into forward air is a bread and butter that is now banned, and if you land a Disable, your best punish is a fully charged Shadow Ball, assuming you found the time and space to charge it all the way up. Mewtwo does have really good grabs, but still at best E tier. Marth has Shield Breaker, Dancing Blade, Dolphin Slash, and Counter. Side B just does everything for you, and up B out of shield. Neutral B is a mediocre poking tool, and your grabs are subpar without aerials. A little spoiler alert, but Lucina is not paired with Marth because if you can't find these tippers, opponents are living way too long, and getting that perfect spacing just is not realistic. I will be pairing the Pits together, Pit with Palutena's Bow and Upper Dash Arm, Pit with Silver Bow and Electroshock Arm, both with the power of Flight and Guardian Orbiters. The projectiles are nice to have, and if the opponent just bought the game, they'll eat every side B for you. The counterplay against Pit and Pitu is just too simple, and relying on run-up grabs makes it easy to stuff out these angels. I personally would rank Pitu higher than Pit just because those arrows do a little bit more damage. Rosalina and Luma has Luma Shot, Starbits, Launch Star, and Gravitational Pull. I almost put her in F tier, but the Luma can be such a great misdirection against opponents. Starbits don't do much on paper, but from a mental perspective, enemies can see this little guy and make it their single job to blow up this star. And considering the declining attention span phenomenon, that misdirection helps Rosa land more grabs, and her grabs have some good knockback scaling. Unfortunately, Rosalina can't afford to take any damage because she's light, and losing her normals is still extremely limiting. Pac-Man has Bonus Fruit, Power Pellet, Pack Jump, and Fire Hydrant. At first, these specials look great. You have a great recovery, Pac-Man's grab is also great, so why is he in E tier? Well, you don't have normals to contest the stage, which means you're forced to play a defensive reaction gameplay in a very linear way. You don't get much time to charge up fruit, side B is not a neutral option, and up B is low reward out of shield. Hydrant does a lot of heavy lifting, but your gameplay starts looking like a day 1 Kirby main that jumps up to the sky and presses down B. Overall, it just gets really easy to smother Pac-Man before he gets set anything up. Shulk has the Monado arts, backslash, air slash, and vision. Up B is your best move here. It comes out quick, great out of shield, and you can pair it with smash arts to KO, buster to rack up percent, and speed to just dance around and force a whiff. And that's every good thing that I could say about Shulk. Backslash is a meme, and not having access to long-range sword normals is a bummer. Lastly, Ken has Hadouken, Tatsumaki, Shoryuken, and Focus Attack. You can build up damage with fireballs and hurricane kicks, and Focus Attack can provide a unique defensive option, but your only tool to clean up stocks is with Up B. You lose a lot of awesome command inputs and combos without the A button, so unfortunately, Ken is just not enough. D tier characters felt incomplete, as if they only had one decent strategy to rely on. Lucina has the exact same moves as Marth, and the only difference is the quality of the swords. Unlike Marth, Lucina's side B can reliably clean up at the right percent, but it could also be a placebo effect just because I think Lucina feels better to play as. Yoshi has Egg Lay, Egg Roll, Egg Throw, and Yoshi Bomb. Egg Roll bad, and Yoshi's strat is to chuck at least 200 eggs at you, and occasionally go for an Egg Lay to poop them, and down B to send them flying. You have great aerial mobility to act as a butterfly that's impossible to hit, but this unorthodox playstyle clearly is not a sustainable way to win a set. Peach/Daisy has Toad, Bomber, Parasol, and Vegetable. Turnips can be thrown with Z, and with good item play you could rack up a lot of damage. There's also that slim chance to pull Stitch Face, Mr. Saturn, or a Bob-omb, which becomes an alternative win condition. Side B is a nice YOLO option to clean up, and Float is still a flexible movement tool. However, if the opponent gets a pulse on how to deal with turnips in side B, it gets way too difficult. Meta Knight has Mock Tornado, Drill Rush, Shuttle Loop, and Dimensional Cape. All of these moves can put you in the helpless state, making all of these attacks super punishing if it doesn't connect. His grabs don't have much lethality to it either, so every option has a sense of high risk despite getting less than 20% per interaction. Mr. Game & Watch has Chef, Judge, Fire, and Oil Panic. You're losing everyone's favorite Nair and up air, and some of the best smash attacks in the game, like down smash and up smash, are just atrocious. Now you get chump change damage from neutral B and up B, however if side B hits, it can hit hard if you high roll, or you could get a 1 and feel bad. Wario has Chomp, Wario Bike, Corkscrew, and Wario Waft. If anyone can figure out how to pick up the bike as a throwable without using the A button or C stick, please let me know, cause that would bump Wario higher on the ranking. Chomp is a nice command grab, and Up B could be a surprise anti-air or an out-of-shield tool. Bike has some pretty neat properties like armor, skidding, and wheelies, and a Waft is a classic comeback mechanic, but he loses up tilts and up airs for vertical combos, Nair for horizontal combos, and I personally miss down tilt dash attack as a KO confirm. Ike has Eruption, Quick Draw, Ether, and Counter. Ike was the first member of the Nair only club because that move just does everything for you. Eruption and Quick Draw are telegraphed and easy to avoid. His grabs aren't too significant either. Ether surprisingly can rack up damage and even KO on its own, which is Ike's saving grace. King DDD has Inhale, Gordo Throw, Super DDD Jump, and Jet Hammer. Gordo Throw is your blood, sweat, and tears here as you're going to be doing this move a lot. Inhale is an easy to use command grab, and a fully charged Jet Hammer can strike fear in anybody. But unfortunately, all these specials are not that fast. His aerials are just too vital to his kit that I had to rank him here. Greninja has Water Shuriken, Shadow Sneak, Hydro Pump, and Substitute. Greninja's game plan here was to throw a couple stars, run away with good mobility, and catch opponents off guard with a run-up grab or a quick side B. Rinse and repeat. You really miss the down tilt up smash and stylish edge guards with this Pokemon, but you never know what you have until it's gone. Ryu has the same specials as Ken, but the main difference here is that Ryu has 2 different specials that can KO when Ken only had 1. Additionally, Ryu gets that hotter half circle fireball that can be helpful with building percents. Same issue as Ken where you don't have a normal attack to link into these special moves, but at least Ryu can pack a punch. Ridley has Plasma Breath, Space Pirate Rush, Wing Blitz, and Skewer. Why is Neutral B's damage calculation so specific on the wiki? This is just overkill. Anyways, these special moves have high damage outputs and natural synergies of yoinking people with side B, chucking them off stage, and edgeguarding with Neutral B. The only problem is actually landing them just cause you're so big. And without aerials, really is just kinda bad. Driving into C tier, these characters are barely functional without the A button. Pikachu has T-Jolt, Skull Bash, Quick Attack, and Thunder. Pikachu's plan is to get pennies worth of damage with T-Jolts and Quick Attacks, and at high percents find a clean Thunder or an up throw. Your side B helps with recovering, but I don't really see you throwing it out in neutral. Therefore you're going for chip damage at every percent, and that's not really an efficient way to play. Jigglypuff has Rollout, Pound, Sing, and Rest. It's really just side B all day, but if you manage to put them to sleep, that should be a free stock, or you can KO with Pound at almost 200%. Forward throw is also a great tool to set up an edgeguard for how nasty that angle is, but you don't have any aerials to edgeguard because Pound pops people up. Maybe you go for a footstool. Ices have Ice Shot, Squall, Belay, and Blizzard. You can desync Ices, which makes for some incredibly irritating setups, and building percent is relatively easy. The pain point for Ices is cleaning up the stock, and the two ways that I found was get opponents at such a high percent that neutral B freezes them off stage, or you cover their jump with an up B. Icy's best KO throw is surprisingly down throw, but that's when they're above 200% anyways. Young Link has Fire Arrow, Boomerang, Spin Attack, and Bomb. Despite having a great special kit and even a Zair for additional options, your sole KO option is from a clean grab at 150+%. You could also combo projectile into an aerial up B, but the win conditions are still just so limited. Roy and Chrom have Flare Blade, Double Edge Dance, and Counter. Roy has Blazer for his up B, and Chrom has Soaring Slash for his. Side B for both of these characters are super helpful for both dishing out damage and finishing up stocks. Roy's side B has way more power behind it due to the sweet spot acting as a pseudo F smash, and Chrom's up B is a really nice out of shield option to end opponents. Their grabs aren't noteworthy though, so if you just block their side B, these two really aren't that big of a threat. Diddy Kong has Peanut Pop Gun, Monkey Flip, Rocket Barrel Boost, and Banana Peel. I predicted that Diddy Kong would be higher on this tier list, but in practice it was actually pretty bad. Maybe I was playing it wrong, but Banana with Monkey Flip is just great in neutral, and if you land a trip, up B can be explosive, pun intended. But I struggled killing a Kirby without A, and that shouldn't be something that I should struggle with. Everything just gets stale, and not having any normals to toss out like aerials, down tilts, or even dash attack just drastically nerfs him. Olimar has Pikmin Pluck, Throw, Winged Pikmin, and Pikmin Order. Very similar to Young Link where you just run around a lot tossing a bunch of little dudes at the opponent. However, this time, your main win condition is a blue Pikmin grab or a well-placed purple toss. You do lose up smash, which I think is a really significant part of Olimar's kit, so that's why he's kinda here in C tier. Wolf has Blaster, Wolf Flash, Firewolf, and Reflector. The best of the species, Wolf can just Blaster as both a zoning tool and a physical hitbox, which is very nice. You have a high knockback back throw, and if you catch your opponent slacking, a side B or up B can eliminate just as well. However, going for these Haymaker specials will put you in freefall, and it could be punished, or you just SD for going for a cheeky spike. Palutena has Auto Reticle, Explosive Flame, Warp, and Counter/Reflect Barrier. Losing Nair, Bear, and Dash Attack is already so rough for Palu, but having two high knockback moves in back throw and side B makes it somewhat tolerable. I also do appreciate having a 2-in-1 counter and reflector, it's at least something. Inkling has Splatter Shot, Splat Roller, Super Jump, and Splat Bomb. All of these specials are a bit slow for my taste, but you can get pretty creative with them, such as edgeguarding with up B. Back throw is a reliable KO grab, and Splat Roller can surprise people, but without jab and back air and all those other really great normals, Inkling is still kinda losing a lot. Joker has a gun, Yeehaw, Grappling Hook, and Rebel's Guard. None of these specials can knock people to the blast zone, not even the Arsene versions, so a back throw will have to suffice. Neutral B and side B are amazing for dealing damage while staying slippery, which is always a plus in my book. You could hypothetically get a Gimp with gun edgeguards or a well-timed counter, but easier said than done. Byleth has Failnaught, Eridbar, Sword of the Creator, and Amir. These are all very slow but very big hitboxes that you'll be working with, but with up B into side B as a KO confirm around 100%, it's quite refreshing. There's potential for silliness like down B armor and neutral B cancels. You can really only do so much without their aerials and smash attacks. Tipper F smash at ledge is just toxic. Sephiroth has Flare, Mega Flare, Giga Flare, Shadow Flare, Blade Dash and Octo Slash, and Scintilla? Is that how you say that? You become this odd zoner character with fireballs and purple skittles. Additionally, you have a lot of tricky options when it comes to KOing. If someone is landing haphazardly, an Octo Slash can clean up. If someone is using smash attacks, your counter is highly effective. And if they stay off stage for too long, neutral B can offer some decent pressure. Sephiroth's winged form also helps just a bit as a passive buff, which is always appreciated. Mii Gunner has many different possible movesets, and the one that I think works the best in this format is 3-3-2-2, Grenade Launch, Gunner Missile, Cannon Jump Kick, and Bomb Drop. The idea here is to embody a poisonous playstyle of many explosives, then bait them into hitting your shield, where up B at a shield finishes the stock. Up B can also act as an edge guarding tool to spike them if the bombs fail to KO. This is another character that I believe would be higher, but losing Nair and Bear to stuff out opponents, losing Fair as a movement tool, and losing up smash and forward smash dampens their overall zoning plan. Welcome to B tier, the section of characters that are actually functional. Snake has hand grenade, remote missile, cypher, and C4. I find that having a strong control of nades and missiles can easily control the pace of the match. Unfortunately, I don't have that control with Snake, but I've seen what Hurt and Apollo Kage can do, so that's enough proof for me. Snake does lose some meaty aerials and that outstanding up tilt, therefore he loses a lot of killing power, and you have to rely on C4 or missile to take a stock. Captain Falcon has Falcon Punch, Raptor Boost, Falcon Dive, and Falcon Kick. Most of Falcon's game plan is do a run up 50-50, am I going to go for a burst attack with side B or down B, or a grab with up B or just a normal grab. And either up B or down B will take a stock eventually, and if you want to get real stylish, side B can spike and Falcon Punch is a household name. DK has Giant Punch, Headbutt, Spinning Kong, and Hand Slap. The armor on most of his specials are handy, the range on down B is helpful, and still having access to Cargo Throw helps open up a lot of opportunity. DK does lose some cheater moves like back air, yet having a surprisingly versatile way to delete opponents grants DK a spot here. Kirby has Inhale, Hammer Flip, Final Cutter, and Stone. Inhale cheese. That's all you really need in life. Side B can act as a really slow smash attack, up B can be a nice quick poking option, and down B is a pretty nice edge guarding tool. And if you don't like going for Inhale Gimps, maybe your opponent has a nice neutral B that can act as a win condition. Dr. Mario has Mega Vitamins, Super Sheet, Super Jump Punch, and Dr. Tornado. Pills, pills, and more pills. Shout out to Silent Hill F, you should play that game. Up B comes out insanely quick, which is great as an out of shield option, or just as a fast call out. And there's natural kill confirms with down throw into either up B or down B, depending on the percent. He's just really sluggish with a pretty undesirable recovery. Lucas has PK Freeze, PK Fire, PK Thunder, and PSI Magnet. You also have the Snake Zair, which is used for double jump cancelled Zairs. This kid is an edge guarding monster, from steering a ball of lightning to icing opponents. PK Fire is a nice poking projectile that can also take stocks by itself at higher percents, and when all else fails, you always have back throw. Robin has Thunder, Arc Fire, Elwyn, and Nosferatu. The different levels of neutral B can be useful at any percent. Arc Fire is just a good move to have, and down B as a healing command grab is always appreciated. When the tomes are used up, you could use the books as throwable items. Lastly for Robin, up B as a spiking tool can really catch enemies off guard. Cloud has Blade Beam, Cross Slash, Climb Hazard, and Limit Charge. A nice simple projectile with a side B that builds up damage fast, one of the best out of shield options in the game, and down B to power up specials that can rob stocks. I hypothesized that Cloud would be higher, but thinking more about it, without aerials it's pretty difficult for Cloud to demand respect. Additionally, Cloud's grab game isn't that good, so opponents could just block everything and be fine. Corrin has Dragon Fang Shot, Dragon Lunge, Dragon Ascent, and Counter Surge. I just think side B is really strong, and a clean hit gets the job done. Neutral B is a bit slow but can still be a useful projectile. Up B is nice with invulnerability from frame 7 to 17, and counter is a counter. Up throw will be your main KO throw, around 170%. Bayonetta has Bullet Climax, Heel Slide / Afterburner Kick, Witch Twist, and Witch Time. Side B and up B are great for combos and possible edgeguarding gimps. Neutral B is also an impressive edgeguarding or neutral poking tool. You do have to really rely on edgeguarding to win, yet I think her mobility with these specials grants her a spot in B tier. Incineroar has Darkest Lariat, Alolan Whip, Cross Chop, and Revenge. Neutral B is a surprisingly good boxing tool, and once they start shielding it, you can start going for side B grabs. If they mash on you, you can farm up Revenge to one-shot them, and you still have access to down throw up B to steal a win. Terry has Power Wave, Burning Knuckle, Crack Shoot, Rising Tackle, and Power Dunk. We also have access to the super special moves, Power Geyser and Buster Wolf. This is kinda similar to the Cloud situation where we have a lot of amazing special moves packaged in one character. Like all these moves can play the game for you and it just overwhelms others. But without the A button to combo into these moves, as well as no way to connect a throw into these specials, you just have to hope the enemy doesn't shield the big hits. Kazuya has Devil Blaster, Devil Fist, Devil Wings, and Heaven's Door. You also have Rage Drive, Gates of Hell, which is that unique backbreaker grab, and Spinning Demon to left hook, the only command input that can be done with a special button. You can still crouch dash by the way. Without electrics, you become a grappler going for a bunch of down Bs just because neutral B and side B are really slow. Up B is a great out of shield option, and the spinning demon is a welcome addition to this limited moveset as it kinda acts like a diet combo. A tier. Finally, some good characters. Link has bow and arrows, boomerang, spin attack, and remote bomb. Very strong zoning game with a mix of 3 unique projectiles. Spin attack could be used either as a run-up up smash dupe or an out of shield option. Link's grabs are decent but pairs pretty well with projectiles like boomerang to force a block. And remote bomb ledge trapping and edge guarding can get obnoxious. Luigi has Fireball, Green Missile, Super Jump Punch, and Luigi Cyclone. Although he loses his 0 to death combo, you can still make a lot of stuff happen with Zairs and regular grab combos. Pairing short hop Zairs with Fireballs can provoke an approach. Down throw to down B or up B are true kill confirms at high percents, and back throw is a consistent kill throw. Additionally, down B having that frame 1 intangibility helps Luigi play more up close and can act as a get out of pressure free card. Ness has PK Flash, PK Fire, PK Thunder, and PSI Magnet. PK Fire is going to do most of the work as it combos into itself and can do a lot of mental damage. PK Thunder is a solid edge guarding and juggling tool, and Ness has the back throw of all time. PK Flash has its situational uses, as well as Magnet, therefore Ness has a simple yet effective no-A move kit. Zelda has Nayru's Love, Din's Fire, Favor's Wind, and Phantom Slash. Setting up down B is already part of the original game plan, and if they shield it, you can run up and grab. If they jump, you can use neutral B as a makeshift nair to cover the airspace. Side B is nice for edge guarding, and up B is a surprisingly strong out of shield option by hitting them with the elevator. She too has high knockback grabs to clean up stocks. Pokemon Trainer has Water Gun, Withdraw, and Waterfall for Squirtle, Bullet Seed, Razor Leaf, and Vine Whip for Ivysaur, Flamethrower, Flare Blitz, Fly for Charizard, and they get all swapped to each other with Pokemon Change. Squirtle can get damage done in with Down Throw into Waterfall, but cannot really KO efficiently. Ivysaur can zone with Razor Leaf and possibly connect it into a sweet spot Vine Whip. Down Throw up B is also a credible KO option. Zard's up B out of shield is pretty generous, especially if you can utilize that armor. Flamethrower is a nice close to mid projectile, and a YOLO side B could call out a reckless opponent. And Charizard can just kill with a grab. Sonic has homing attack, spin dash, spring jump, and spin charge. This character becomes the epitome of hit and run playstyles. You don't have your common KO options anymore, aka F smash, bear, and fair edge guards, so your main game plan here is to rack up outrageous amounts of damage with side B or down B while staying difficult to hit, then KO with whatever connects. And if you manage to get them off stage, you could edgeguard with the spring. Lucario has Aura Sphere, Force Palm, Extreme Speed, and Double Team. Aura is Lucario's unique mechanic that buffs them if they have more damage. With Aura, Counter is a move that can decimate stocks, Aura Sphere lets you chuck mini semi-trucks, and Force Palm becomes an intensely powerful command grab. These specials are somewhat telegraphed, but the reward for landing these specials are quite high, which justifies Lucario's A tier placement. Villager has Pocket, Lloyd Rocket, Balloon Trip, and Timber. If you grow your tree, you get an axe, which became incredibly helpful in a world where I deleted the A button. A great projectile in side B, a powerful anti-zoning tool with Pocket, and edge guarding by chopping down the tree rounds out Villager as a pretty balanced fighter, not to mention how good that recovery is. Mega Man has Metal Blade, Crash Bomber, Rush Coil, and Leaf Shield. You can zone opponents all day, and once you get them to 200, you become a chuckster and toss them off. The variety of projectiles allows for more flexibility, and you get even more diversity when you get Z-drop shenanigans with Metal Blade. This does become a War of Attrition character where you slowly whittle down enemies, which will require a lot of patience. Wii Fit Trainer has Sun Salutation, Header, Super Hoop, and Deep Breathing. Neutral B and Side B are classic projectiles to zone with, and Deep Breathing is a nice buff. One aspect that I feel really sets her apart is using the actual hitboxes of Header to go for spikes and up-close attacks. On a small side note, Neutral B being cancelable allows for some tricky B reverse movement. Duck Hunt has Trick Shot, Clay Shooting, Duck Jump, and Wild Gunman. Although you don't have regular attacks to manipulate the can, it's still an incredibly creative projectile that can both build damage and even take stocks on its own. Side B is another powerful tool, and down B presents stage hazards for your opponent. Just very solid special moves with lots of potential here. Isabelle has Pocket, Fishing Rod, Balloon Trip, and Lloyd Trap. She plays a lot more turtley by constantly poking with Side B while they're in safety of her Lloyd Trap. She's a bit weaker compared to the rest of the A tier characters because you have to play extremely defensive, but what gained her this spot is how Side B can steal stocks if you get a good catch. Piranha Plant has Patui, Poison Breath, Piranha Copter, and Long Stem Strike. Patui does some heavy lifting to carry Plant in the A tier. You can use it as a simple shot put or run up hold neutral B to act as a makeshift counter. Side B and down B are neat moves, but they pale in comparison to neutral B, and Plant has a really good up throw that can KO off the top. Banjo and Kazooie has Egg Firing, Breagle Blaster, Wonder Wing, Shock Spring Jump, and Rear Egg. This is evil incarnate, and all you do is dump the stage with eggs. The best part for Banjo is you could pick up the grenade eggs to have even more options with zoning. And once you're done dealing increments of 9% damage, Wonder Wing can quickly dispatch enemies. The only reason why this character isn't an S tier is how punishing whiffing side B can be, especially because you only get 5 per stock. You do also have a good back throw to clean up stocks at that point. Steve can mine, craft, create block, minecart, elytra, and TNT. Steve doesn't have any more normals to shove people off of him, so it's a lot of running away, mine, then minecart. You can use TNT and blocks to hinder the opponent's movement, but all of your damage is how well you can use side B in your matches. Blocks can interrupt certain recoveries or even set up spiking opponents by throwing them onto the underside of the block. Yes, your moves are pretty limited, but luckily the minecart you get is really good. For me, Sword Fighter, the best setup for me in this challenge is Shuriken of Light, Chakram, Hero Spin, and Power Thrust. Shuriken is great for quick poking and can combo into a down B Power Thrust. Chakram is another useful projectile that can cover jumps, and the slow variation can help combo into a big meaty hit, which is Hero Spin. More about Hero Spin, it's me Sword Fighter's fastest out of shield option, has ridiculous knockback, and able to reverse scoop enemies. If I would make any change to this set, it might be switching Chakram with Gale Stab, but this set can put in work. S tier characters, the cream of the no A button crop. Bowser has Fire Breath, Flying Slam, Whirling Fortress, and Bowser Bomb. Neutral B can do crazy damage up close, side B is considered one of the best command grabs in the game, up B is one of the most famous out of shield options, and it's a nice get off me tool. And down B has some situations where you could break shields or spike opponents. His regular grabs are solid too, but you're usually going to go for side B anyways. Samus and Dark Samus has Charge Shot, Missile, Screw Attack, and Bomb. The best example of a traditional zoner in Smash is Samus, and that has not changed for this tier list. Samus also has a far-reaching grab that doubles as an irritating Zare poke. Being able to charge up neutral B, cancel with shield, and either up B or grab isn't too far off of what she usually does. But you do lose a helpful forward air to cover jumps quickly. Rob has Robo Beam, Arm Rotor, Robo Burner, and Gyro. 2 amazing projectiles, especially if you manage to pick up Gyro using Z in some way. Great for neutral, great for edge guarding, and down B can be cancelled for more protection. Side B can shove people off of you or even carry others to the blast zone, and you have a pretty nice recovery. Down throw side B is a little slow, but Rob's up throw can kill off the top. You do lose Nair and down tilt, which is tough. Toon Link has Hero's Bow, Boomerang, Spin Attack, and Bomb. The best of the 3 links due to how mobile Toon Link can be while making it rain with projectiles. Additionally, having an up B that can actually KO others from either an out of shield punish or a bomb confirm is very appreciated. Adult Link is a bit sluggish in the movement realm, and Young Link's grounded up B does not kill. As an added bonus, his grab is a Zare, and back throw can win games at high percents. The Belmonts have Axe, Cross, Uppercut, and Holy Water. By now you might be picking up the theme of how good zoners are, but I promise not everyone up here are just zoners. But given that we're primarily using the B button now, the Belmont's projectiles are notably great tools. Up B can also combo from a returning cross or act as a frame 6 out of shield. I wish you could tether recovery to ledge without A, but them's the breaks. King K. Rool has Blunderbuss, Crownerang, Propeller Pack, and Gut Check. As a heavyweight, K. Rool can survive a long time, which means he can throw out a ton of crowns and balls. You can still go for the iconic Gimp off stage with a neutral B suck. His counter is one of the few that can act as a reflect too, which can come in handy. And his grabs are actually overpowered, up throw doing a raw 20% and even killing, cashier check aka back throw is gross, and down throw berry can set up some fun mind games. There's also the K. Rool crown duplication glitch, but I don't know how to do it without pressing the A button, but assuming that's possible, K. Rool deserves to be an S tier. Mithra has Lightning Buster, Photon Edge, Ray of Punishment, and Chroma Dust, and Swap. Pyra has Flame Nova, Blazing End, Prominence Revolt, and Swap. You have a very diverse special move pool. Mithra's neutral B when tapped can act as a Dancing Blade too, side B looks good but extremely punishable, and up B is a nice combo ender from down throw, a quick out of shield or edge guarding tool. Pyra's neutral B when charged can hard pressure shielders, side B is a nice projectile, and up B is a raw killing out of shield option. I do value how many options a character has when ranking their abilities, and Aegis having 2 different sets means they deserve S tier. Sora has Magic, Sonic Blade, Aerial Sweep, and Counterattack. You can Fireball into grabs as usual, and Neutral B is a flexible zoning tool. Side B is your auto combo that builds percents, and Up B or Thundaga is your closer. Missing out on Nair Loops and IDJ combos seems like it would take a lot from Sora, but if everyone is missing out on the A button, then Sora is an S tier. Let's talk about our top 5. They aren't ordered, but they are a league above the S tier cast. Zero Suit Samus has Paralyzer, Plasma Whip, Boost Kick, and Flip Jump. She also has a fast Air to poke. I feel like I was losing my marbles putting ZSS here, but I made someone rage quit with just Air spacing. Neutral B stuns and links up into Up B. Side B is another disjointed hitbox, but this time it has high knockback. Down B is outstandingly flexible. It can bury opponents into Up B, it can be an unreactable movement tool, and it can even spike people off stage. ZSS is also one of the fastest characters in the game, which just amplifies all of these moves. She has everything you'd need in a kit, even without the A button. Mii Brawler, or the moveset that I use, is Shot Put, Burning Dropkick, Thrust Uppercut, and Feint Jump. Shot Put is one of the best projectiles in the game, dealing real damage and can passively edgeguard. Side B helps as a burst option along with Down B. And of course you have to run the beloved Down Throw Thumper, a reliable kill confirm not requiring the A button. I personally prefer Suplex over Burning Dropkick, but for this challenge I think the latter is more helpful. Even without their great aerials and extended combos, I still consider Mii Brawler a top 5 in this tier list. Bowser Jr. has Clown Cannon, Clown Card Dash, Abandoned Ship, and Mecha Koopa. Side B, Jump Cancel Up B is still a combo and is a major contributor to why this little guy is up here. Before you get them to combo percent, you can zone well with Neutral B and Down B. If they start to shield them, you can always move alongside the projectiles to set up a grab. Side B can also get super annoying to deal with by just running over opponents or cancelling it to bait others into hesitating. Edgeguarding with your library of projectiles can get scary too if you're confident in sniping them. Min Min has Punch, Arms Jump / Arm Hook, and Arms Change. Because the B button controls your right arm, Min Min is the only character in this entire list that can perform jabs, forward tilts, forward smash, nairs, and fairs. And you can change the type of quote normals by swapping them between Ram Ram, Megawatt, and Dragon. You're most likely going to use Ram Ram for 80% of the match, then finish them off with Megawatt. If you need a little extra range, you could throw people and use a powered up Dragon to fire your laser. I can see Min Min being top 1 in this tier list, but there is one other character we haven't talked about yet. Hero has Frizz, Frizzle, Kafrizz, Zap, Zapple, Kazap, Whoosh, Swoosh, Kaswoosh, and Command Selection. In the command window, you can possibly get the following: Bang, Kaboom, Sizz, Sizzle, Whack, Thwack, Kamikaze, Magic Burst, Snooze, Heal, Oomph, Acceleratle, Bounce, Ka-Clang, Zoom, Hocus Pocus, Flame Slash, Ka-Crackle Slash, Hatchet Man, Metal Slash, and Psych Up. If you don't know what these do, they can be categorized in 4 different buckets: self-buff spells, good projectiles, good attacks, and random garbage. There's only 3 bad spells in this list: Kamikaze, Ka-Clang, and Metal Slash. Every other spell has a good use to it. Following my philosophy on having more options means better character, Hero has the most options with the B button. Neutral B is a decent fireball, Side B is an amazing zoning tool as it can't be absorbed or reflected, and Up B is a decent out of shield option that helps you reposition to farm spells. A lot of these command spells can guarantee a win, whether it be a Kaboom, a Snooze into Hatchet Man, or stack up Oomph and Psych Up and then up throw to kill them. The only struggle here is that every special move needs MP, and you usually use normal attacks to recover MP. Without the A button, you have to be more aware of resource management, but getting grabs in can help replenish MP for you. Once you solve that problem, Hero is one of the strongest characters in a world where the A button is deleted. Hey, here's the full list all together. Let me know what you think about it down in the comments below. If you enjoyed the content, please subscribe because your support truly helps the channel grow. Also, it's free and super easy to press that subscribe button. Shout out to my awesome YouTube members. If you want to see the other tier list I made about this, check it out right there.